What's up, YouTube? My name is Jason. This is another episode of Unfiltered Opinion, and let's get right into it. So this is going to be a more serious topic compared to some of the other videos that I've posted recently. And this will be personally fueled by frustration, irritation, and patience wearing so fucking thin at this point. So this video will encompass the general lack of respect and humanity that Black people must encounter every day in America. And I'm not just talking about slavery, even though that's a much larger component. But I'm talking about just the general unfair treatment of Black people in this country. And I know that there has been a gargantuan amount of fervor and unrest when it comes to the protests. And to the protesters I say, keep doing your thing. Keep fighting the system in order for progress to be imprinted and stamped onto the fabric of this country. Do what you need to do to all the protesters. Peaceful protesters, not the rioters, not the looters, because they are criminals. But to the peaceful protesters who are going out of their way in order to have an impact for the equality of Black people's lives. And this is especially coming from the story of Breonna Taylor that has been circulating through the news, through the media, for roughly 4 months now. And this video is not necessarily going to dive into the in-depth details of the Breonna Taylor case. However, I will link articles in the description below and also a video from Trevor Noah from the Daily Distancing Show, encapsulating all the pivotal details of that case. But this is more of a wake-up call. Actually, no, the need of a wake-up call. So for me personally, I don't know what it feels like to be disenfranchised, and I've been fortunate enough not to be disenfranchised. However, like I stated in previous videos, I have a group of best friends who are all minorities and who are all Black. And just hearing their stories and anecdotes of being prejudiced by an illegitimately unfair and an unjust system. And not just them. This is for almost all Black people. And the fact that they have to be terrified of their lives because of the pigmentation of their skin color, it is not only a tragedy, it is a fucking monstrosity. Black people, regardless if they're male or female, they all have the common attributes of a human being with just one factor that differentiates them from everyone else. Why is it that the pigmentation of their skin makes them an eligible target for disenfranchisement? Please, someone fucking enlighten me. Someone enlighten me. Black people, they have all the attributes, both physically, emotionally, mentally, maybe spiritually, depending on who you talk to, of a human being, of a Homo sapien, of a community within the human race. They have eyes, they have a nose, they have ears, they have a mouth, they have a heart, they have 2 arms, 2 legs, and depending on their physiology, either a penis or a vagina. Just like all other human beings. So why is it that when given all of these common attributes, that the one thing, the absolute one thing, prior to other people familiarizing their characteristics and their personality, is the judgment of their skin? Why? Why is it that ever since the Atlantic slave trade back in the 1500s, that they have been victimized, that they have been brutalized, that they have been disenfranchised, and ultimately categorized as an inferior class just because of their skin color? Please, someone fucking enlighten me, because at this point it is infuriating. Every time I hear or I witness or I view another article that another black individual who has no affiliation with any maleficent intent is brutalized by the other races and especially law enforcement, tell me why. People may argue that a progressive wave of change is slowly shifting in favor of African Americans. However, it is almost as if someone of my stature is chained by the ankle with a manacle tied around a cinder block 5 times their size and possibly 20 times their weight, that they must tug themselves to whatever level of progression that they desire. However, their mode and their speed of progression is being tethered by that cinder block that weighs 20 times as much and is 5 times their size. Why is that? Why is it that a race that has a different hue of their skin color, of their pigmentation, is being racialized to the utmost degree? Tell me why, so that way I can comprehend what the fuck is going on. I know that many individuals, countless individuals, have stated that change needs to occur as fast as possible. But apparently, this country doesn't give a single shit, doesn't give a single fuck about the lives of black people. despite them being part of the same community, of the same race, the human race. But instead, no, they're disenfranchised, they have inequities, they're being tethered down by a cinder block that some African Americans cannot unchain themselves from. That shit needs to change, and it needs to change now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not in the next decade, now. So for all the politicians, for all of the individuals, leaders who have power, who have political legislation, who have legislative power, stop sitting on your fucking asses and doing nothing about it, and get to work so that way we can have social and racial equality once and for all for those who are inept to it. I know that there are a handful of legislators and politicians who are continuing their work in order to fight racial inequality, and I applaud you. Continue your work. But to the other side of that coin, who seem not to give a fuck about the insurmountable amount of racial inequality targeted towards black people, get off your fucking ass and get that shit done, and stop trying to use all of your power, all of your influence to get reelected. Because guess what? You're not gonna get reelected if your morals, your code, your ethics, whatever the fuck you want to call it, if you even have any, are not in line with the people and what they want, which is simply racial equality for everyone. So get off your fat ass, get off your lazy fucking couch, and get the fuck to work.